So a little over a year ago, I discovered that some whack jobs out there listen to podcasts at 2x speed. I always thought that slider was there for looks. I didn't know there was actually functionality to it. And then I learned that people do this with TV and movies as well. I've seen this mostly come up in the One Piece community. I don't know anything about One Piece other than that it's got more episodes than Days of Our Lives. So I get why they're doing it, but they could just not watch One Piece. Worked out great for me. What I'm trying to get to here is that these unhinged 2x speed people live among us. They walk the same streets we do. They apparently live in our houses because my wife does this with voice memos with her friends, and I've forgotten what all of her friends sound like because I only hear their high-pitched 2x speed voices echoing from another room. And I've seen people use the excuse that it's to save time so they can watch more and keep up with all the media they want to consume. But me, as a normal person would, thought it might be a little difficult to pick up all the information, or even some of the information. So I decided to do a little experiment to see how much information is actually retained, but I also wanted to take it to the extreme by watching 5 movies at speeds 1 through 5 times normal speed to see how fast you can actually watch a movie and know what's going on in it. And to concoct this experiment, a few weeks back I recruited my friend and movie expert from the Andy Phillips Channel, Andy Phillips, to help me. Let's go back and take a look at that conversation and see what movies me and Andy decided we'll be watching. So thanks for joining me, Andy. Do you want to be Andy as the full name?
Yes, I am Andy Phillips.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted the reference of the full name.
See, that's the thing. There's an Andy Phillip that runs a woodworking channel. So anytime you type in Andy Phillips, you get not me. So my plan of being at I am Andy Phillips on all my social media didn't really work out when there was already like 5 more prominent ones. I'm not the most impressive Andy Phillips. I'll give you that.
Okay, so we're talking movies. The plan here is that I want to watch a bunch of movies at different speeds, starting with 1, working my way up to faster and faster, probably to 5 times speed. And then I'm going to come back to you and just kind of throw an idea of what I thought I watched.
All right. Maybe I'll have some questions.
And I'll let you pick the movies. So whatever you've got, throw it at me.
5 movies is quite a task, but I think I'm up to it. I think I'm ready for it. Before we get to that, I need to ask you some questions. I need to know more about you. What's your favorite movie or type of movie?
There are 2. There is Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior and Grease.
Two diverse picks from one another. We've had a conversation before about the Mad Max, and you can binge all of them, and they're all just like good fun action. How about Grease? What allured you to making Grease your top 2?
Have you ever seen Grease?
Yeah, like a couple times, at least thrice. But
how could it not be?
It's good. It's good. I'm just surprised that it's also paired with Mad Max, not the new one. So you got a musical and you got a big action-packed type. Okay.
And I also I enjoy Timothée Chalamet.
You enjoy Timothée Chalamet.
I like the Wonka boy.
I actually saw him in person at the Game Awards this past year. I was in the audience, right? And he was like our surprise guest presenter thing, and he walks out on stage. That man has the tiniest thighs. He's small. He's way smaller than you think he is, and he's a very attractive man. You're just like, wow, look at that hair, but you're also like, man, he's got some chicken.
There are a lot of things that when you look at Timothée Chalamet that you're like, you have a lot of first thoughts.
It comes in waves.
Thighs is not one of them.
All right, so in the spirit of TC, let's go with the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. How familiar are you with that one? Do you think at 1% speed you could get most of the plot?
I've definitely seen it. It's been a long time. I could definitely give you the basic plot of Willy Wonka.
Okay, Charlie's the main character in that first one. What's his last name?
Bucket, like the hat.
Okay, so we got a neutral base of it. We got some familiarity. It's a classic. We'll start with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as our number 1, just base normal speed, whatever. And we love it here on the Andy Phillips Channel, so it fits right in with the brand. It's
I think it's a movie that enough people know that it'll be a great baseline for all these other ones that I have no idea about.
Okay, so we've got your top general tastes. What's an upcoming movie or a movie maybe you just saw in the theater? What takes you to a movie theater viewing experience?
I'm trying to think of what the last movie I saw in a theater was. I haven't been to one in over a year though. Was it the Batman? Maybe might have been the Batman was the last thing I saw.
Well, spinning off of that then. So that's your cinematic approach. You got some action with the Mad Max, but let's go superhero. The 1997 classic Batman and Robin, directed by Joel Schumacher. This will be your double speed one. Now it's a superhero movie, and you're already, it fits. It's comic books. It fits in line with the bastard with the Blaster Goblin brand. It fits in line with the Blaster Goblin brand as is and everything. Remind me, have you done any videos on the movie?
I've not done one on that movie, no. It's made some appearances in them, not one that I've seen as a like coherent adult. It's it's one of those movies that's like popular enough. It's like in pop culture enough that you know about the bat nipples and the Arnold Schwarzenegger of it, but like the general plot, I have no idea. And that's kind of a fever dream of a movie anyway, so that one's going to be hard to piece together.
Number 3. How do you feel about rom-coms? Did you grow up with any rom-coms?
I'm in my rom-com era currently. That's a newer thing for me.
Now, what does that mean? Like, how familiar are you with it? Are you just catching up? Are you like, I'm at the Notebook and I'm going forward? Like, where are you at?
Really enjoyed John Green.
So you're like watching like Fault in Our Stars and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched that one yet. But
the most popular one. You're a rapscallion. You go for the Dr. Pepper of all 3 options.
Yeah. I'm all over the map on movies.
For number 3, with a 3 in the title, 13 Going on 30. Have you ever seen it? What do you know about it?
The Zac Efron movie.
Nope.
I have never seen it.
No, that's 17 again. But I'm glad you mixed those up because they're both great.
Okay, so I've never seen both of these movies.
We'll come back to 17 again someday. 13 Going on 30. It's a definite Andy pick. It's like my favorite rom-com of all time. It's got Mark Ruffalo, pre the Hulk. It's got Jennifer Garner at like the peak of her prime. She was killing it. Andy Serkis is in it as a normal actor. He's not doing mocap or anything. Like he plays a guy. Okay, this is where I want to get more familiar with your territory. Childhood favorites. What's something? Say it's a rainy day out, or you're having a sick day or something, and you're like, ooh, I just need to put on that movie. What would that movie be?
Adam Sandler's Bulletproof, or iRobot is another classic.
I'm sorry, but I think you just picked our 4 and our 5 because I want to watch an Adam Sandler movie I haven't seen before. Haven't seen Bulletproof, so that's my homework assignment. Stealing that from me. And I've seen iRobot a ton. Maybe I'll watch it at 500 speed just to see how it is on my end or something like that. I don't know, but like I think iRobot at number 5, and then Bulletproof at number 4.
If you like the Wayans brothers, you may enjoy it. It is a movie that I thought was great as a kid, and then I got older and found out nobody liked it.
Oh no. Well, I mean, like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore are like untouched ground. Like it's too sacred in this household, Like
it's in that era. I had it in a box set collection that was called the Adam Sandler collection. It was all blue and just had his face on the side of it. And it was Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, and then Bulletproof. For some reason that made the cut. This list you've made for me, the best part about it is that I have a pretty decent short-term memory, but I have a terrible long-term memory. So I have seen iRobot probably 25 to 30 times. The only thing I can tell you about it is that either Will Smith or the robot, I'm not sure which one of them is named Sonny. And that may not be correct, and I may be confusing it with Big Daddy, where Adam Sandler is Sonny, because we also mentioned an Adam Sandler movie, and I second guessed it as soon as I mentioned that one of them may be Sonny.
I hope you start watching Bulletproof, and then you're like, wait a minute, this isn't 50 First Dates.
Okay, so we'll recap it. The list is at normal one-time speed is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a movie that everyone is familiar with, so I should be able to get a good baseline out of. 2, Batman and Robin. I haven't seen since I was a coherent adult. So number 3, we decided was 13 Going on 30, has nothing to do with Zac Efron.
No, but maybe there's a sequel someday. 20-year anniversary this year. So
Of 17 again?
13 going on 30. But
Okay, I almost called it 13 going on 30 again, referring to the Zac Efron movie. This is going to be really hard for me, and I'm afraid I'm going to come back to this next part and have watched the wrong movie.
if you don't see Mark Ruffalo, get out of there. If you see Matthew Perry, get out of there.
And then 4 was Adam Sandler classic Bulletproof. Number 5 is I, Robot, the Will Smith movie that may or may not have the character Sonny in it.
Off you go. You have your homework assignment.
I am prepared to watch this and retain absolutely nothing.
I love it. Me too.
All right. Well, I'll see you on the other side of these movies. So with my list of movies and a Google Chrome extension and a few weeks of putting it off to work on a Watch Dogs video, I sat down 4 nights in a row to watch 5 movies. And each night, as my brain adapted more and more, I started to embrace the high-speed movie lifestyle. I was baffled by the amount of information I could take in. So with my new megamind-sized brain full of movie plots and my schedule cleared because I had freed up so much time, I met with Andy once again to find out exactly how much I retained from this experiment. Okay, Andy, we're back. I have watched Willy Wonka, Batman and Robin, Not 17 again, Bulletproof, and iRobot at 5 various speeds.
Each increasing by one time as you went.
Exactly. There was a small hesitation in there after starting Batman and Robin at 2 times speed that maybe going up 1 level of speed would be too fast, but I committed. I thought about texting you and saying let's drop it down 0.5s, but I just decided if we're going to do it, we're going to do it all the way.
And power to you. I watched Bulletproof at 2 times speed.
Okay.
Because that was the only thing that the Stars free trial offered me whenever I wanted to rent it. And I was like, this is the only way. Like, not even Tubi had it available. And it only offered up to 2 times speed. So I watched it on that. And frankly, I had to put on closed captioning just to like play fair. Because I'm just like, I have no idea who these characters are. I don't know what's going on right now. A lot of gunfire was happening and I wasn't sure who was shooting at who.
These are my caveats. I did have subtitles on for all of them. Not purposely for an advantage. I just watched things with subtitles on them, so it was that way already. And I felt like since I watched the first one that way, I had to watch them all that way.
Good call.
And to do this, because nothing has a 5 times speed, I had to get a browser extension and put it onto Chrome, and then Chrome wouldn't let me cast anything to my TV and black it out. So I had to do it through Firefox with an extension and watch things at 5 speed.
I couldn't tell you what I would need to watch at that speed, but I'm glad that they offer it though. I'm glad we're capable of that.
We have technology.
I've made a lot of realizations while watching this that surprised me, and we'll get to them as we get through them.
Yeah. Let's start with Willy Wonka. What surprised you about Willy Wonka? Because remind me, have you seen this one? Is this new for you?
What I thought I had seen Willy Wonka, and then I realized I grew up in the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka era, so I have seen the very beginning of this, the scene where he gets the ticket, and the end when he's in the flying elevator. The rest of that movie is just non-existent. It never happened.
Okay.
Like if I summarize the movie from what I gathered from watching it at 1 time speed like everyone else, is a poor kid that lives with 12 grandparents in a little shack, but they keep using his grandpa's tobacco money to get chocolate. Willy Wonka does this giveaway because no one's been in the factory for years. He shut down the factory because people were trying to steal his recipes. And he does this giveaway with 5 chocolate bars all over the world. If you get a golden ticket, you get to tour the factory. Multiple kids win it, and then Charlie Bucket eventually wins a golden ticket. They go to the chocolate factory. Willy Wonka tortures a bunch of kids, like brutal tortures.
Like hardcore.
Picks them off one by one. I can see how this could be a borderline horror movie for children until the end when Charlie's the only one left and he gives him the chocolate factory so he can retire.
Well, I will say you got my first question right, which is how many kids find golden tickets?
Yes, there were 5 of them.
Points on the board.
The other caveat I have here that I forgot to explain. I took notes with all of these movies, but I took them all with voice memos so that I could get through them quickly because I knew the movies would get progressively faster.
Yeah.
And I watched these over the course of a week. So I thought these would be helpful just to retain the information I had at the time of watching it, but some of them are just I don't know what these say.
Yeah, just a bunch of gibberish.
So there may be some things that I just don't know what they mean.
Well, as part of our arrangement, I tried to bring my A game, so I've got about 5 questions per movie. But you got the first question right, so we got 5 kids. Who is the antagonist?
I mean, Willy Wonka for trying to murder all these kids.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Or it's Slugworth,
Slugworth. Ding, ding, ding. Correct. 2 points on the board.
who is not even a real person.
No. He's in the book. He is the bad guy. I'm pretty sure he's the antagonist. I don't think there is any bow wrapped up on his character that he was secretly an agent of Wonka the whole time. I think he was just an asshole, that was his job. Okay. You know the everlasting gobstop.
Yes.
We have real ones, but I'm talking about the one in the movie. Name any of the foods that is described when chewing on it.
Oh, God.
There is a 3-course meal, a 4-course meal or something. Any of the food.
I'm trying to think, and all that's coming to mind is when they were licking the wallpaper.
It's close to that scene, so don't be saying strawberry or snallsberries. Don't be saying that. It's right before a certain someone turns a certain color.
Yeah, blueberry.
Blueberry what?
Oh, is it a blueberry pie? I do not know. Is that it?
Yep. I'll give you the point. It was blueberry and cream. I would also accept roast beef, baked potato, tomato soup, or the dad throws in sour cream, but she never confirms whether that's on the palate or not. So.
And a baked potato.
With sour cream?
I think you covered this one, but what does the elevator break through at the end?
Oh, the ceiling, the glass ceiling.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. And the final question, folks, we've got: how long was Uncle Joe and crew in that damn bed for? How many years, months, days? How long were they there?
I know that this was information that I thought would be important, so I might just have to throw out a guess of what I remember it being, which I want to say is it 20 years?
Ding, ding, ding. 5 across the board.
Is it exactly 20 years?
It's 20 years in the book and the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's a long time to be in that damn bed.
Yeah, even if you are getting up to use the restroom, your legs ain't working too good after just sitting there the whole time. All right, we're off to a good start. Willy Wonka, cha-ching, you know it at 1 speed, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's good. That means my brain is at least functioning at a semi-regular level.
Did you have any other Willy Wonka stuff?
Yeah, so I tried to watch all of these movies with as least money spent as possible, and the only way I could find this one, it was through not Peacock, but NBC's website by signing up for a free trial and watching it with ads. And it really hit me with the ads. And I wrote them into my notes. All the kids they're in a church, and then they go to the candy store, and then they sing a song about being a candy man. And then he's walking past the Wonka factory fence, and then a creepy old man with a cart full of knives just sneaks up on him and says no one ever gets in. And then I got an ad for Canva. I wrote them all down, every ad. There was also a Rocket Money ad, an ad for the Olympics, a Credit Karma ad, a hymns ad, but it's for women, so it's called Hers.
Augustus Gloop gets sucked up the tube and immediately a Hims ad drops.
Okay, so with 5 of 5 questions done, are you ready to move on to Batman?
I am indeed. Batman and Robin, 1996, 7, something like that.
Somewhere around there. George Clooney is in it.
Yeah, 1997. We had George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, and Alicia Silverstone. A classic superhero movie for me. Yeah, you have your Iron Man from 2008. Sure, that was, the definitive marker of, new age superheroes, but post 90s, early 2000s, when the Daredevils were coming out, stuff like that. This was a VHS that was definitely at my parents' house. So this one's pretty familiar for me.
I remember watching it as a little kid, and I remember having the Batmobile toy. There's specific scenes I remember from this movie. The ice skating scene at the beginning, and I've used that in videos before, is why it's fresh in my mind. And then the kind of the ending scene where they're fighting in the observatory. And that was also something I used in a video before. The first thought off the top of my head, I love how much all of these costumes look like Bible Man costumes.
Oh, and I'm so glad you know what Bible Man is. It's such a niche thing, and I'm glad that you compared it to Bible Man and not the other way around. Bible Man did it first. In
my mind, Bible Man did. I'm a diehard Bible Man fan.
Yeah, I've got it. This one is there's an instruction manual in here. No, The Bible Man Adventure: Breaking the Bonds of Disobedience.
Oh, what's that guy's name? Furioso. It's like Mad Max, but not quite.
Well, I have all the Bible verses I could ask for. I can't find the antagonist's name though. They definitely have him back there. I don't know if you can, but he's licking some goo.
I
despise you both equally.
And we despise you, El Furioso.
Because you, totally first despised us. Say it again, Lucy.
El Furioso.
Say it again, baby.
El Furioso.
Ooh, yeah.
You're sick.
I know.
Oh yeah, and they have lightsabers in it. Anyways, sorry, that's off topic. That's not the 2 times speed.
I couldn't tell you how many times I begged my mom for a Bible Man toy at the family Christian store.
Oh, you and I both. Okay. Okay, Batman and Robin at 2 times speed. I'll start you off with it with a softball. What are the villains?
The villains. Okay. I'm going to run through my summary real quick.
Yes.
And it will answer that exact question.
I figured it would.
So, while Batman and Robin are trying to stop Mr. Freeze from freezing the world to hold it for ransom so he can save his wife, at the same time, new villains appear, Bane and Poison Ivy, and she wants to save plants, so they team up with Mr. Freeze, and then Batman and Robin have to take them all down while Alfred is dying, and then Robin is becoming like a defiant teen. So our villains would be Mr. Freeze, Bane, and Poison Ivy.
Correct. You got number 1 done. We've got Poison Ivy. There's an iconic scene in the middle of the movie where Batman and Robin start bidding over her. What does Batman reveal at some point during this exchange when they keep one-upping each other?
What does he reveal? Oh, man.
But it's an unusual Batman thing that only exists within Batman and Robin.
He uses a Bat credit card.
He does. He does use a Bat credit card.
He has a silver Batman credit card with a big Bat logo on it.
I was certain that it was gonna be. I remembered it being Visa, and I looked it up. No, it's Goth Card. It's in the same logo design, but it's not Visa. It's not MasterCard. It's just their own Gotham centric company.
Why is it called Goth Card? I hate that.
All right. So, your summary, I forget if it mentioned Batgirl, aka not Barbara Gordon, but Barbara Wilson in this movie, as portrayed by Alicia Silverstone. Who is Barbara Wilson related to?
She is Alfred's granddaughter, or his daughter? Granddaughter.
Final answer?
No. She's his niece.
All right, final answer?
Yes.
All right, you are correct. Barbara Wilson is for some reason Alfred's niece, and of course he just starts dying when she shows up. So it very conspicuous there. What does Alfred do upon almost dying when he can't help out the team in the normal way that he would?
He gives his niece a costume.
Okay. He does.
No, but not intentionally. She finds it, but that is, I guess, not what happens there.
No, he does do that. There's one more thing he does to be there when he can't be there.
Does he make an AI of himself or something?
He does. He uploads an artificial intelligence of himself to act as the Alfred while he's sick. But he doesn't die in the end. I assumed that was their way to make him live on. And it's no, I'm just healthy again. So whatever about this AI.
Yeah, that completely missed that.
Hey, but you got it right. You're smarter than the screenwriters. I'll give you that.
I remember when she goes into the Batcave, you see him, but I just assumed it was a recording.
So you got 4 out of 5. The final one is, what kind of race happens in the middle of the movie for no reason at all?
Oh, there's a motorcycle race.
Correct. 5 out of 5. Once again, 2 times speed, got nothing on you.
Yeah, and she drives off a bridge.
Yeah. But I'm why are they there? They're really, still to this day, they could have been anywhere. They just wanted to do a motorcycle race. I get it, but all right, 5 out of 5. What fun.
The few things I noticed while at 2 times speed, Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice at 2 times speed is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh no.
Everyone knows his voice, but it's at this speed, it's something completely different, and it doesn't fit his body at all.
Especially as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I was successful, nevertheless. Absolutely, boss. One more giant diamond of this size, and my freezing engine would be complete.
The other thing, you know how everything in this, every one of his lines is an ice pun in this? At 2 times speed, you don't have the pause. He goes, "What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age," is his joke, which also is inaccurate.
Yeah. 2 very different topias, yeah.
But he says that, but he says, "What kills the dinosaurs?" And then I assume in the regular version, he waits a minute and then goes, "The Ice Age." But at 2 times speed, he goes,
"What killed the dinosaurs? Guys, age.
And it runs together that it makes every joke actually funny. There's also a scene when they're chasing Mr. Freeze out of the museum, freezes up a little wall, and Batman looks at him and he wipes the glass and then like smiles and waves at him. But that's also the most unsettling thing I've ever seen at 2 times speed. That's all I got for Batman and Robin. I'm ready to move on to 13 going on 30.
Yeah, number 3, we're fitting it with the threes. We're going 13 going on 30 at 3 times speed. Here we go.
What a theme I did not notice until this second. You have a whole 3 themes there, and you didn't say anything until just now.
Well, yeah, I like to play a little with it, it's just some fun.
I looked right at this information. I had it written down. 13 going on 30, 3 times speed. Number 3. And none of that clicked in my head that we had a 3 theme here.
Well, you haven't seen this one, right? This was all new territory. I didn't want to make this your hardest one.
No, this was all new to me. I have never seen this movie. We had the initial conversation. I thought it was Zac Efron 17 again. That has permanently fixed that issue in my brain that I thought these were the same movie. The other issue I had is that when I went into this, about 15 minutes of watching this maybe, I realized that this is not The Sound of Music, and I thought it was that movie.
Oh, what?
Because of the song that they sing in the one where they say you are 16 going on 17, which is not 13 and 30, which I understand is the play on words for this movie.
I think it's so great though.
And I know we had a whole conversation about this movie being like a Mark Ruffalo, and we had that whole conversation. Gone. It just went away.
Well, I tried to be understanding. I tried to think of only like visual questions to ask and everything. But I want to hear your full your synopsis ahead of time so I can determine which way to lead on the question.
You'd be surprised how much you can pick up at 3 times speed. You miss about half of the words that are going on, but you can visually kind of catch everything. So I know it's a girl named Jenny, and she's got like a thick, ugly best friend as a kid. And then she throws a party, and popular kids come, and they ditch her in the closet. And then she wakes up, and she's 30. And then she falls in love with that thick boy who is now smoking hot Mark Ruffalo. She gets sad that he's like moved on from her and is trying to marry this other person. So she teleports back to being a kid and marries him, but waits until she's 30 again to marry him. And that part really bothered me.
Yeah, because they can legally marry at 18, so they're just spending 12 extra years just sitting on a dating. That's pretty good. That's for 3 times speed. Never seeing that. Her name is technically Jenna, but I'll give you Jenny. They definitely refer to her as that at some point. There's a scene in the middle of the movie, so she's with her new coworkers, and she's trying to get them to cut loose. What song does Jenna get her coworkers to dance to when they're at the bar?
I made a note of this while watching. The note says, they're dancing. Is this Thriller? And then another note under it that says, yeah, it's Thriller.
Yeah, it's Thriller. Ding, ding, ding. That's my line. Correct. Number 1, good to go.
The note above the dancing to Thriller one, it just says J-Lo ? Don't know what that's about.
Wait, is J-Lo in this? I think maybe she's the cover of one of the magazines. Matt, aka Mark Ruffalo, he gives Jenna an item on her 13th birthday. Do you remember what that item was?
It's a dollhouse.
Correct. I believe they describe it as a dream house or a diorama. All right. And you mentioned she gets tossed in the closet because of the popular girls group who are known as the Six Chicks. Very easy detail to miss, so I didn't make that one the question. But what game do the Six Chicks make her play? What puts her into the closet?
So just based off of context clues, I'm going to assume that it is like 7 Minutes in Heaven.
Correct.
Just based off of the King of the Hill episode where they play that, because I wasn't cool enough to play that in high school.
Yeah, we didn't really have that in my class either. Don't worry, that that was not the move. So we mentioned the magazines. Did you at any point catch the name of either the magazine they work at or the competitor that they mentioned throughout the movie?
Are they real magazines?
That I don't know. I didn't fact check that, but I haven't heard of them outside of this movie. So I'm guessing they're very kind of generic sounding.
I have no idea.
So just think of a buzzword, maybe something you find on detergent or something, or dishwasher cleaner. I don't know.
Cool fashion.
You're close. All right, we got our first miss. We got Poise, which is the one that they work at. And then Jenna is supposedly, when she isn't her 13-year-old self, beforehand was giving like photos and stuff to the competitor, which was named Sparkle.
Didn't register that.
I figured that one would be a more difficult one. This one's another one, but I think they mention and show this one more. So final question is, what candy do Matt and Jenna share during their times together?
I do remember them eating candy. It seemed like such a thing that didn't matter at all to me in my head. And then after I had finished the movie and I was like thinking of my summary, I was like, man, that candy they kind of made a big deal about. So I don't know, is it a real candy?
It is a real candy. I actually, because of this movie, I get this in my stocking every year.
Is it Sour Patch Kids?
You're close. I'll give you another hint. It's a candy, but it's also a blank. So if you can say what the blank is, I'll give it to you.
Is it a straw? Is it like sour straws? Because it's a candy, but it's also a straw.
You're getting closer. Think about something that's not candy, but if you chew it long enough, it basically, It's a gum. It's called Razzles. So it's a candy that if you chew it long enough, eventually it turns into like a gum, but it's not good gum. Like it always turns like gray or something and you got to spit it out after like 2 minutes. But it's like for those 2 minutes you enjoy it, it's good.
I knew that it was a weird name. I wanted to say Sporkle, but that's like a kid, like a quiz website.
Yeah, right. No, you weren't far off. All right, so for 13 going on 30 at 3 times speed, you got 3 right. So fits all in line. You're right on the money.
That really continued on the 3 theme.
Well, I do recommend it to watching at 1 time speed at some point. It's a much better movie at normal.
Kind of sad that I let this movie go to this because it seemed like it'd be a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a classic for me, but I got some bias,
This really like opened my eyes that this speed thing isn't as bad as I thought it would be because I can still kind of gather the things. But there were things like when she does like her little makeover montage. That is just flashes. It hurts. It hurts to watch because it's so many.
You got to
flashes.
put an epilepsy warning or something beforehand with how much is going on. I bet.
There's a scene towards the end when she's going to Matt's wedding and she gets in a taxi and the taxi driver looks like Jim Gaffigan, but I'm positive it's not Jim Gaffigan.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Hold on, let me double check. But I'm pretty sure I had the same thought before. And I checked. Hold on.
It doesn't make sense for me for it to be Jim Gaffigan, but it could be Jim Gaffigan.
Well, like he was just getting his start. No, it's him, Chris Grandy. Yeah, that definitely is him.
How did I register 4 seconds of Jim Gaffigan?
So this next one, we'll see how it goes. It might be the more controversial. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's an Adam Sandler one that I haven't seen and you grew up with, correct?
This was the first R-rated movie I've ever seen.
You got the 1996 movie Bulletproof. Starring Damian Wayans, I believe, and then Adam Sandler. Yeah, so Bulletproof, an Adam Sandler one that I've never seen before. Frankly, I'd seen the poster, but I was not familiar with this one.
The cover of this is like a staple in my childhood. It's like burned into my brain.
Angled down, and they're both like holding their arms out. Yeah, I remember passing by it all the time at like Family Video or something, right?
This is where I first realized that I have no idea what's going on. Like, this is the first time I experienced that this will get very confusing at this fast. I don't know what the names of any of the characters are in this movie. I took a guess. I wrote down that their names are Jake and Cole. I don't know if that's right at all.
I don't think it is. It's Keats. I'll give you Keats. And Moses. Wait, there's Colton, who's the bad guy. There's Keats, who's Damon Wayans. And there's Moses, who's Adam Sandler. And then I have a question about the other one, but,
Those are the only 2 names I caught was Jake and Cole. And apparently that's nobody. I don't know where I got those names from. So my summary here is that Jake and Cole are criminals, and one of them is actually an undercover cop. And after Adam Sandler finds out that whichever one of the Wayans brothers is a cop, he shoots him in the head, and then later on, Adam Sandler gets arrested, and the Wayans brother is alive from recovering, and he has to escort him to jail. But their plane gets attacked, and Adam Sandler can somehow fly a plane. They kind of land it, and then they have to travel by ground to jail while these people are trying to kill him. At some point, they become friends, and then the Wayans guy breaks Adam Sandler out of jail after they get there, and then they kill a TV cowboy. And then they all double-cross each other. I think everyone but Adam Sandler dies, and he becomes a bullfighter.
You're surprised. Yeah. from my only viewing, that's pretty much what I got too. It's pretty spot on.
I am so confused. Like the rest of it, like the beginning, I like kind of have an idea. I mean, they got attacked and they're getting back to the jail, and I don't know really the events of what's going on through there, except for like a creepy motel they stay at. There's a whole like double crossing thing at the end, and I don't know who is on whose side. All I know is that Adam Sandler becomes a bullfighter.
Yeah, a very odd thing too. Like he's like on his way to Mexico when he initially like escapes the thing, and that's the closest tie-in. So you said the character that gets shot in the head is Damon Wayans' character, Keats. Who shoots him?
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Correct. You got the first one down.
Adam Sandler shoots him while he's holding a dog.
Oh, is he? See, even that part, I was watching at 2 times speed. I'm like, what's going on? A lot of quick cuts happening here.
See, by the time I got to 4 times speed, I was a veteran of watching 2 and 3 times speed, so my brain had already accelerated.
Yeah, you're like mentally prepared for 8 times speed. You're already there. You're on the zone. Like, do you know which drug the bad guy is moving? And you know, the sting takes place while they're moving a lot of drugs. Which one is it?
I surprisingly did catch that one. It's heroin.
It is heroin. Good job. All right. So we're to the double crossing point. Who is the one that double crosses the duo at the end of the movie?
They get there, and then Adam Sandler double crosses Damon Wayans and his wife, and then his wife double crosses them, and then the cowboy comes out. And I don't know. There's a cowboy on TV in this whole movie, and then he just has a gun at the end. And I'm sure it's very important, but I just know him as a cowboy on TV.
Yeah, frankly, this movie felt like almost like an episode of Breaking Bad 10 years before it came out or something. Because like they're walking through the desert and like there's gunfights happening, and oh no, a cowboy out of nowhere. You know, like all right, we got 3 out of 5.
Okay, so that was the answer you wanted?
Yeah. You said Wayne's wife. Which American city does this film take place? And yes, they are on their way to Mexico, but the film primarily takes place in a large metropolitan area of.
Oh, I have no idea. Is it in Las Vegas? They're in the desert, so that's.
It is actually Los Angeles. The thing that caught my ear when listening to it was that they have the sting happen at a San Pedro loading bay, which is across from Long Beach. And I'm like, well, you know, San Pedro, it's the much smaller one, but never gets mentioned. I was surprised that this movie actually, you know, like mentioned it. But all right, three out of 4 so far. Where does the final shootout take place?
Oh, it's a mansion.
Correct. Whose mansion?
Does it belong to the TV cowboy?
It belongs to the TV cowboy, believe it or not. It's his mansion.
That explains why he's there.
Yeah. He's just watching TV. All right. You got 4 out of 5 this one. You know, you improved upon the 3 times speed. I'm proud of you, Quentin. You're doing it, man.
I killed it, but I think it's because this movie just doesn't have a plot to begin with.
Not particularly. And I'm less familiar with it, so I can't really do any deep cuts like what shoes is he wearing, you know? Like
the other things in there is that the only like real sentence that I got out of this movie was when Adam Sandler yells, "I got piss on me!" That one came out very clear.
There was a joke that didn't age well, but they kept calling back to it. And I thought about putting it as a question, but David Wayne's character forces Adam Sandler to act mentally challenged and asks him where he's going and says Disneyland, but not in the standard way of saying it, you know? And they just kept calling back to it. And David Wayne's is like, remember the time he said Disneyland? And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why is this the callback joke?
That was not in the movie I watched.
Yeah, this is my retarded friend. He's from Arkansas somewhere, and he wants to go to Disneyland. Why you want to go to Disneyland, man? Disneyland. See, it's Disneyland. He like, where? I love the way he says say that again. Disneyland. He loves Disneyland.
The other things I had when they're going to the airport or whatever to get on the plane, it opens with a shot of the plane like flying down onto the runway. That noise at 4 times speed, it scared me. I jumped. It was the craziest noise I've ever heard. I was doing laundry while I was watching this one, so my alarm went off for laundry, so I paused it and I went downstairs, and I came back up and it was paused on just Adam Sandler's face, and the subtitle said, "Me, you, the old lady, a little sandwich action," and I have no context to what that means.
In that scene, the like hotel clerk or whatever is led to believe that they're about to film a gay porno together, Damon Wayans' character, because they can't say that they're on the run or anything, and so they're not giving clear answers. And Adam Sandler's trying to be like, hey, I mean, if you're into it, let's see where this goes. And so he tries to convince the guy to convince his wife to like get in on something, but then he doesn't get that. It's like, you know, a metaphor for, you know, sexual relations, but they think they're just talking about a sandwich. So they do a callback throughout the movie where the hotel clerk's like talking to his wife, being like, why don't you like sandwiches? Like, and they just keep going back to that one. It's got some interesting humor.
Yeah, come on. You're a piece of white bread, she's a piece of white bread on the salami. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, well, she's not eating sandwiches. She's on a diet.
That's also not in the movie I watched. You watched a significantly better movie than I did.
All right. iRobot, number 5. Here we go. Also celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, from 2004. What is the name of the main robot within iRobot?
I have no idea. And I have no idea if there is a main robot. There is a very big robot, and I have no idea if it has anything to do with the plot because it came up twice, and I don't even know if it's the same robot.
It's not the same robot. This robot interacts with them, but looks like the others.
I'm going to go off my guess that I had the first time we talked that may just be Big Daddy. Is the robot named Sunny?
The name is Sunny, correct. So this one might be a gimme. I can't remember if we talked about this on the last filming, but which American city does this film take place?
It takes place in a real place?
Yes. A futuristic version, but it takes place in a real place.
Chicago?
Correct. The main thing is somehow, I don't know if they explain it like the government does this or something else, but Lake Michigan is dried up. And so they just have like, and also they have bridges, but there aren't any actual bridges on Lake Michigan. Like, where would that go? But they just have like an empty bridge that's half broken, as if like whenever they dried up the lake, the bridge stopped working or something. Again, it's all just cool imagery, but it doesn't make any sense.
I do want to clarify that I didn't know the answers to either of those questions.
That's fine. Context clues counts. You know, we're working on the trust system here.
I just picked Chicago because it's near me.
All right, we mentioned AI previously in this video. What is the name of the evil AI that takes over all the bad robots?
There's evil AI.
They give her a personification, and they gave her a 4-letter name.
I didn't know there was an AI.
She like shows up in like this weird like LED looking like thing, and it's not a face, but it is a face.
I'm trying to think of what even a 4-letter name for a lady robot would be.
It starts with a V.
Didn't help at all. I don't even have an answer for this one.
That's fine. This one is Viki. Viki. I don't know what the acronym stood for.
Virtual Interactive Kinetic Intelligence.
But that's what they named the big bad robot that was making all the other robots evil. And making them all red lights, if you remember seeing that on screen.
Yeah, I do remember one turned red at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that happened. Yeah. All right, we have Will Smith drives a car. Presumably on Lower Wacker or like, you know, Michigan Ave or something like that. Did you catch what brand of vehicle he's driving? Just take a guess of a popular car brand and you're going to lock in
BMW.
BMW is incorrect. It's an Audi, but you're very close, very close.
It looks like an Apple Magic Mouse.
It does. So Spooner, aka Will Smith's character, he interacts with Shia LaBeouf. A little side character in this. I don't know. Did you know Shia LaBeouf's in this? Did you catch that 5 times speed?
I caught Shia LaBeouf for a frame. Could be him, could not be him. Glad that was confirmed.
It was Shia LaBeouf. Spooner, Will Smith asks him to stop doing something every time they interact because Shia LaBeouf can't stop doing something. Do you know what he asks him to stop doing?
God, I don't know. Because does he show up more than once in this movie?
He shows up about 2 or 3 times. I think 2 times in like the final fight. But the main thing is like he's a teenage kid, right? So he's always like saying the wrong thing. So what would Will Smith say to that? If you didn't catch it, you didn't catch it. But
I didn't catch it at all. I saw him walk by him on the street, and I was like, I think that guy's Shia LaBeouf. It looks like Shia LaBeouf. And then I never saw him again. I didn't know he did anything. I just thought he walked by him.
He's in like the final fight too. Like he's trying to take down the robots with Will Smith. It's like oh yeah, Shia's here. Will Smith says, "Stop cussing and go home."
First of all, stop cussing because you're not good at it.
Well, let me get 10 for the bus then, man. I've been there for you.
Go home.
That's the line that he gives pretty much every time he sees Shia. Shia has a problem. He sees an attractive woman. He says, "Oh, she's shit hot." Like he just says the wrong combination of bad words.
God, that's hilarious. Had no idea that he played a role in this movie that was bigger than walking by somebody.
Yeah, right? Like, it was definitely Shia, I'll give you that.
Fine ass little yummy. I mean, she is complete and agreeable. I mean, ass hot spankable spoon.
You comply.
You can kiss my ass, metal thing. Oh, she is shit hot, man. You gotta put her to work for you. She is...
Stop cussing.
And go home. I got you.
You know, for 5 times speed, you got 2 correct. You only missed only missed 6. That's a winner in my book. Ding, ding, ding. Way to be. So besides those questions, did you pick up anything on your viewing at 5 times speed?
Yeah, so my summary of this would be Will Smith is a cop that hates robots because a robot tried to kill him, and then a giant robot kills a guy, so Will Smith becomes friends with a robot so they can kill all the robots together. Except for the big robot that killed the guy at the beginning. That one never shows up again. And I don't know how much of an explanation that is of this story, but I do not think it's correct.
I forget if it's like a construction robot. But yeah, I know the one you're talking about, and it's just like, it's a very capsulated, scene. That robot does not come back.
So I started watching this movie at 11:02 p.m. I finished this movie at 11:32 p.m. The biggest confusion was, why does he spray goop on his arm for?
A plot detail you might have missed about iRobot is Will Smith is technically part robot himself. In that crash that happens with the little girl, we're assuming his niece, he lost his arm and they replaced it with a bionic one. So he's felt resentment towards robots because not only did the robot choose to save him over the little girl, even though he wanted the little girl saved before him, it didn't listen to him, right? Because he had a better chance of living. So they saved him, but lost his arm along the way. So he has to like live with a strong metallic thing. So whenever he stabs it, that's like his metal arm, and like it strips away and it becomes all Terminator-like, But yeah, that's a very easily missable thing. And then you're just like, you just see the goop. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, the robot saves him?
The robot chooses to save Will Smith in the car accident where they crash into a lake because he has like a 39% chance to live and she only had like a 10%. Again, a very easily missed thing.
I thought in that scene that the robot pushed them into the water. You're telling me he saved Will Smith?
The robot jumps in after the car crashes. The car doesn't crash because of a robot, but the robot is there.
Huh. Well,
this was an interesting experiment, like to watch on 5 times speed. I'm surprised you got as much as you did, but it definitely sounds like you couldn't, like 6 times, 7 times, not the move. Like 5 is a good cap.
Yeah, I realized that you can surprisingly watch things pretty fast, but you're not gonna watch the same movie everyone else did if you watch them fast. But you can watch iRobot a lot of times in one day if you watch it at 5 times speed.
Like 48 times. It'd be really cool.
Well, thank you, Andy, for making me a test and going on this journey with me.
No, this was a blast. I had fun. I'd say let's do it again sometime. Let's see what the next 1 through 5 times viewing brings us.
All right. Is there anything you want to plug before you go?
I'll plug my channel. We've been sitting on season 9 part 1 for a little bit, getting it cooking. But we've got some commentaries releasing soon and some fun little experiments. And I am AndyPhillips.com for all the latest in jazz and stuff, but just going to keep making stuff, keep collabing and all that. Send peace to one another too. Be kind to your fellow human. How about that?
All right. Thanks, Andy. I'm going to transition to me. As good as my scores were on these quizzes, it turns out my mind isn't mega and my schedule isn't cleared either. I have a 1-year-old. It's never clear. Yeah, I definitely got a lot of answers right, but for the questions for the higher speed movies, I just got lucky guesses. I didn't know where iRobot was based, I just guessed the city nearest to me. And I just got really lucky that I happen to live in a state that contains one of the biggest cities in the United States. And I got even more lucky than that because I had Adam Sandler on the brain. And his Big Daddy character shares the name with a robot that looks like Tupperware come to life. And when he's got his little red light on, he looks even more like Tupperware. Just like he was microwaved with pasta in him. So what were the results of this experiment? Well, we discovered that you can pick up general information from context clues just looking at it. But can you watch a movie at 5 times speed? I mean, you can. You can watch a movie at 12 times speed. But I don't think you should. You're going to lose character names and major plot points. You'd get the same information if you read like an IGN review of the movie. So why waste your half hour? Just do that. If you absolutely must watch something at a high speed, I wouldn't go over 2 times speed. I'm sure that's why most streaming platforms only provide up to that fast. But I was surprised by how much I was able to gather at 3 times speed before losing pretty much everything at 4 and 5 times. But even at 2, you are missing a lot. It's mostly the pacing stuff. Movies are designed to move at a certain speed, especially comedic movies like Batman and Robin. Now, Batman and Robin is a very, very specific case because that's a movie with a lot of really bad jokes that are made funny by having them go too fast. So it's actually kind of better at 2 times speed. But most movies, like 99%, will not be that way. Look, at the end of the day, the reason you watch stuff in the first place is to be entertained or to kill time. So if you're enjoying it at 2 times speed, I guess more power to you. Who am I to judge? I watch most of my TV on my phone while doing house chores or even while editing this very video. And I'm sure that's appalling to a very specific group of people. But if you're at this part of the video, you saw how the experiment went. The faster you watch, the less information you get. Plus, I realized after watching these 4 movies at a higher speed, everything else I tried to watch felt kind of slow for the next day or two. It took a minute for my brain to catch up with normal speed. But if you've got to do like a homework assignment on a movie, put it at 2 times speed. Just blow through it. I'm sure it's a boring movie. Special thanks to Andy. Go check out his channel. I'll have it linked in the description below the subscribe button. His A Movie Commentary Thing series is one of my favorite things to watch on this platform. Him and Ryan do a great job over there, so please, please, please go check them out. You won't be disappointed. Subscribe to them, like them, watch every video. They're all fantastic. And if you're one of those high-speed watchers, comment below and tell me why. Why? I'm genuinely curious at what trauma brought you to that. And while you're scrolling down there to leave that comment, hit the subscribe button on the way so you know when I upload it. I got a lot of ideas cooking up here. I've been working on a bunch of videos at once, and it's really slowed down my production, but it should be ramping up now that I've got all these projects started. Subscribe so you can see them. That's all I got. Go watch the Andy Phillips channel at normal speed.
Remember the time he said Disneyland?